Hey everybody, this episode's got a lot of random little things here and there that I'm going to be just tidying up, getting the loose ends done on. So the first thing I want to tackle today is some of the steering components. I went ahead and trimmed this down, got that end off because I've got to weld on the Subaru end, which I'll show you right here. That it's going to get welded onto that. That'll go into the steering column, and then the steering wheel goes on that end. So hopefully you see how that works. This has been sandblasted, but it's got a lot of overspray on it, and it's all kinds of dirty. Same with this. Next steering piece. I'm going to get these sanded and get them painted. Just finished spraying both of these pieces. I did do a coat of primer before, didn't film it. I do way too much painting on this channel as is. Those are all drying up. I'm gonna throw this hood on. I put the hinges on here off camera, and I pulled out the center tension kind of spring bar. What I'm gonna do is install gas tube little struts. So the idea is to just replace them with the spring, replace them with these. These are a cool little upgrade, so no loss. So I'm going to try and get this hood on and try to mock these up and see the best way to put them on. Just got that hood piece thrown on. You can see all the room it creates running across right there. It's not going to save me really much room at all, but just in case running that intercooler, I want the space. So first time the hood's been bolted on in just about a year actually, since this thing's been opened up like this. The way I want to get these mounted is to get this end, let's see, into that bottom piece right here. So if I can drill that out and slide that through into there, that'll be the new joint. It has to have that joint there, but if that's running through it, it might be okay. So when the hood is open like this, this back end will bolt in right down there, running up. See the length of the struts just about perfect. It's expanded, and when I shut it, that gas strut will compress going back down in there. I've seen one other guy do this on the Datsun Parts and Needs Facebook group, and his turned out pretty well. I'm not sure which struts he used, which length, what weight they're supposed to hold, so I just bought a generic kit and we will see how it goes. But when Vladimir gets here, I think I'll have him help me with that, since this needs to be drilled out, probably welded. Same with that bottom side, we'll probably need to weld that. I'm going to take a look, see if it can be screwed in, but I'm pretty sure welding's the way to go. So I actually ordered the sway bar kit about 6 months ago. I ordered it in May and it's October. I finally got it shipped in, finally. They kept telling me, oh, it'll be there in a week, it'll be there in a week, it'll be there in a week, and it was months and months and months. But anyway, it doesn't matter, I got it in finally. I'm going to go ahead and just loosely bolt it into the car. I'm not going to torque everything down right now because there's no weight in the vehicle at all. It's actually up on jacks, so I'll just get it in there loosely where it needs to go. I've got the rear as well over there, so I'm going to throw these in. I'm still waiting on the Apex engineered control arm, the one that had the issue here with this joint not moving at all. They said they'd be shipping me a new one about a week ago. Hopefully they actually did. I don't know. Shipping from everybody is getting a little weird lately, so we'll see. But I'm throw this in really quick. So I ran into just a little bit of an issue when I was trying to get these on. The bolts that they're supposed to go with are 6 inches long, and they were just a little bit too big, so I had to switch over to 5. So this isn't bolted in, obviously, as you can tell by all the pieces flying. With the 6-inch bolts, they were going up too high and hitting the bottom of this strut here. So 1 inch shorter bolts should be fine. Gonna go ahead and trim this center piece just a little bit shorter as well, just so I can get the distance right. Not a huge difference, 5 to 6 inches, but that'll give me the room I need. I was able to get the sway bars bolted in with those 5-inch bolts. It gave me just enough room to clear that strut, shock tube, whatever. I did trim down this center section, that kind of spacer bearing looking piece in there. It wasn't quite working out the way I was hoping, so I actually spaced this out with some steel and zinc washers, and it fits much nicer. As you can see. I can even fit my finger under it, so just enough room to get to that bolt. It's not tightened down completely, but it's in there snug enough to not fall out or anything. So sway bars in. I'd say that's a huge success. I still need to get this rear sway bar bolted in, but of course I'm waiting on Apex Engineered for this other rear control arm still. This side is all in, but the other one's still waiting. So hopefully they can send that soon. I just shot them an email tonight about it, so we'll see when they get back to me. Well, piece by piece, this car is getting put back together. These are my old rear tail light, shrouds, or panels, whatever you want to call them. This one is completely cracked, as you guys see, and this one is as well. They're totally broken. I got a new panel from a guy named Jesse on the Datsun parts group on Facebook, and huge thanks to him. These look really, really good. There's only one small issue with them. This corner here, just this last like 1/8 of an inch is cracked out. You can see the old one there. So I need to go back and fix this. But happy to have these. I'm going to clean them up, probably repaint them, and they'll be ready to throw on. So now that I got that sway bar all done, at least in the front, still waiting on the rear. I did work on these rear tail light panels quite a bit, and they have come a long way since you guys have seen them. Let me grab both of them and show you the repairs I did on them. So the lighting's not the best to see this maybe, but this is the corner piece that was not there, if you remember the other video. What I went ahead and did is cut out a section of the old panels, my original ones, and epoxied them in here and blended it out. You can see a little bit of a divot right there where it's not quite filled in all the way. It's not perfect. I did go ahead and paint these. They were black originally, but it was a high gloss black, and it just showed every single scratch in there. So I cleaned them up, did plastic adhesion promoter and a new coat of black. I'm not happy with how this turned out, however. If you look at them, they look nearly perfect, but there's some sanding scratches in them, and a bug decided to land in this one. So I had a nice bug right there. So I'm gonna repaint them, but they're looking significantly better, and that repair is done, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'll go back and sand these down one more time and repaint them, but they are looking very nice, very, very clean. I'm pretty happy with those. So that steering wheel column is all done. I got it all sanded, painted. It's looking really nice. Got new bolts on all of these spots in here. It's twisting just fine. Everything's working great. That front end is just about ready. I did order a new intermediary, I don't know, this rubber balancer weight thing. I'm not sure exactly why they have these in there. You could just mount them like that, honestly, but anyway, got a new one coming. Once that's in, I'll get the right distance there and we can weld that. Vladimir will be coming in this episode, so we'll be getting some of that done, which is great. In the meantime, I ordered these Nrg adapters. So I've got the Nrg short hub right here, let me film this a little better. Short hub and their quick release 2.0. So this will let me pull the steering wheel on and off. I'm still waiting on that one from Bulgaria. It's going to be a few more weeks. You'll probably see that in the next episode. But getting at least as many of the pieces ready as I can before it comes. So pretty good progress, I think. So I just opened up a package and here's something crazy. This is just shy of $1,000 worth of bolts. These are the ARP head and main stud set for that V12 engine. And man, they are expensive for just a couple bags of bolts. I'm gonna get these shipped off to the engine builder though, along with a couple other things for the V12. But rest assured, a lot of progress is being done with the engine right now. Even though I'm working on other things, I've got some really awesome people, experts really working on it, because that's, I'm not an expert, but I can buy stuff. So this is the next thing I wanted to tackle. You guys saw that steering joint earlier. I bought one of those new couplers or bushings, whatever they're called. This old one is warped. It's not flat, as you can probably tell right there. So yeah, terrible shape. Ready to go in the garbage. I got a new bushing from Nrg Suspensions. This thing looks great. Nice, flat, everything will be great there. I just need to wait for these brackets to finish drying. I just painted them. They're the two pieces that kind of sandwich this bushing coupler together in between both shafts. So once that dries, I'm going to throw that all back together and be ready to weld that front end up to the Subaru part. Now while this paint is drying, I have been messing with my new compressor. That old one here was a 20 gallon, I think, or maybe a 26 gallon. Not very big. Just a single stage. I got this much larger 60 gallon, and it's a dual stage as well, so I'll have a lot more air. This is going to be really, really useful for how much I use air tools. I'm glad to have this upgrade. The last thing I need to do before this is 100% done is get new bolts to mount this to the ground. I got those isolators so it doesn't vibrate itself to death. I got all the right fittings, all the hoses are all good to go. Got the power supply all hooked up. So everything is ready except for the bolts. So I'm gonna go buy those and get this thing completely done so I can start using it. Those two pieces have had plenty of time to dry, so this thing is garbage. Also had time to bolt down the air compressor on these isolating pads. Nice long concrete bolts in there. So everything's pretty much completely done with that. It's all good to go. I'm debating on whether or not I want to paint this whole thing myself. If I do, this compressor will be perfect for it. If I don't, it's still a great compressor that I can use for all of my pneumatic tools, you know, air guns and sanders and everything. So good upgrade. Let's keep on working on this thing. So I was able to go ahead and repaint these rear tail light bezel trim panels. No bugs in them this time, so that's good. I resanded them, just wet sanded and resprayed them. They look pretty dang good now. The only downside is these panels are really old. What are they, 50 some odd years old? One of the corners cracked out on them just a little bit right here. So I don't think I'm going to bother fixing it because I've spent so much time on these already. Plus that's not visible. That's a bummer. It, you know, just old crappy plastic. It's not really much I can do. I can keep fixing these over and over, but I don't know if it's worth it. I think in the future I might buy the carbon fiber reproduction panels. These ones are just kind of a bit of a pain in the butt. One other thing I did, since I had two right hand side panels, I went ahead and cleaned one up and painted it with this metallic silver paint just to see if it would turn out okay, if it would stick well, just to see what would happen. I think it looks pretty dang good, honestly. I like the metallic in there. Makes it pop a little bit, makes it kind of look a little bit unique. I still need to buy a left-hand side. I think what I'll do is just paint them both with this metallic silver. I just don't like the look of this fake chrome. It doesn't hold up very well. It gets damaged. It just looks like crap all the time. So even if I find new panels, I think I'll just paint them this color. You guys let me know in the comments, so what do you think? So I got a little bit of bad news. Vladimir actually got sick this weekend and he's not going to be able to come up. So we are planning on next weekend instead. I did get a lot of stuff done in this episode, just a lot of little like loose odds and ends. But I think pretty good progress anyway. So I'm just going to call the episode here and pick up next week when he gets back here. So thanks for watching.